guys, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I know it's been a hot minute, like 4 years since my last pellet video, but I'm hoping to start posting regularly from now on, so we'll see how that goes. Today I'm posting this speed paint of a hippo sticker, and I'm going to go over a little bit of the art process, and then I'm going to go over how I find inspiration for what sticker packs to create. So before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that I have a full real-time tutorial of painting this hippo on my Patreon and Ko-fi sites. So feel free to pop over there and subscribe, or on Patreon you can actually watch them for free using the free 1-week trial. So feel free to pop over and look at that. Okay, so first off, I picked hippos this month because I just find them so super cute and they're super squishy, and squishy animals are my all-time faves, of course. The biggest challenge I had with the hippo was with the eyes, because hippos have like really tiny eyes, but I like my characters to have really large eyes, and it was really hard finding that balance between the hippo's tiny eyes, which are very characteristic, and having large eyes that are just really cute. I think that I got a pretty okay balance with it. I had to soften off the eye lobe around the hippo's eye to make the eyes work, but I think that turned out pretty okay. Let me know what you guys think. So if you guys have seen my older videos, then you see that my style has changed quite a lot. The style that I use for my stickers is really different from my normal painting style, and it's actually really inspired by original Pokemon art. And I know that that art is so light because it was scanned incorrectly, but I really like the contrast between the colors and like the pure white of it. So I try to create that in my sticker set. And in order to keep the colors really soft, I use a lot of wet on wet. What that means is that I put down a layer of water, and then I apply the paint over top of the water while the paper is still wet. That allows the paint to flow out into the water and create really soft edges. Another technique you'll see me use sometimes is where I'll put the paint down on dry paper and then I'll use a brush over top of it again, and that's a brush with just clean water, and that allows the edge to soften out without the paint traveling too far. So that's a good way to get control of where your shadows are if you still want the shadows to be nice and soft. So all my sticker packs are rainbow colored. And this particular hippo is a blue to a sort of teal or a blue to green color. Using the wet on wet technique really helps with the gradient between the blue and the green, because the colors will naturally blend together through the water. But something I did have some difficulty with is that blues are really dark. So I was really timid with the layers in this one and tried to build them up really slowly. It means it took a lot of layers to get to the correct tonal value. Usually when I'm painting I try to keep it to about 2 to 3 layers, but this one I think took about 4 or 5 in some areas, and so it was a little bit of a struggle. But it does all come together in the end. Because the watercolors I use are transparent, I'm not too worried about it taking more layers, because every layer that you put on top just adds more depth to the painting, since you can see through the layers, and especially in person they look really luminous, how the light passes through the layers and then reflects off the paper. It's just that it takes longer if you're spending more time putting down more layers. And then when I get to the line art layer, I'm using artist gouache, so that's the type of gouache that is not waterproof. And I like that for 2 reasons. One, because I don't feel like I'm wasting materials if I don't use all the gouache on my palette. I can just reactivate it and use it again later. And 2, is that because the gouache is less staining than the watercolors that I use, if I make a mistake during the line art process, I can just wipe it off with a damp towel, and then I get to start fresh. So that really reduces the amount of stress that comes along with making line art with traditional media. So I think that's about all I have to say on the art process. So moving on to how do I find inspiration for sticker packs. So I have a lot of sticker packs so far. I think it's about 30 or 40 of them by now. Probably closer to 30 than 40, but it's a lot. And what I found really helps is that anytime I get excited by something, I try to put it down in a list. And then anytime I need an idea, I can go back to this list and look about what I've been excited about in the past and see if it still sparks excitement. And usually this list is of subjects, but I also have a list of different traits that I like. So for example, I like really squishy animals, so seals, hippos, cats, snails, stuff like that. I also like fluffy animals, and I like really like flippy ears, so if an animal can like flip or flop their ears around, I find that really cute. Stripes, spots, and any animal that's really shiny, which is why I like reptiles and amphibians as well, because they're just, the shininess of them is just really, really cute to me. But then of course there are also subjects that I always come back to that I consider comfort subjects. So these are subjects that I find myself drawing over and over again when I don't necessarily need to. Usually these are subjects that are a mix between the list of subjects that I like and also they have many of the traits that I like. So seals are a big one right now. I always draw lots of cats. I'm not necessarily great at drawing cats, but I do draw a lot of them. Turtles and frogs are up there as well. And something that can help make a comfort subject more interesting to be a sticker pack is if you mash it up with something else that you're interested in. So for example, I might do like frogs with cat markings, or I have a set of fruit cats. Those cats that are fruit inspired. Stuff like that can really take your comfort subject and really expand it into something that's going to appeal to a wider audience, or just something that you can reiterate on without necessarily copying the same thing over and over again. Something else that can help with that is also if you take subjects that you enjoy and then mix them with something that someone else enjoys. So for example, if like space is really popular, then you can maybe do like cats that are based off the different planets in the solar system, for example. So smash up things that you see are maybe trending, that you find interesting, but aren't necessarily your comfort subjects or aren't necessarily a thing that you're interested in creating, and then combine that with something that you are interested in creating. Something else I find that I really struggle with is creating a cohesive sticker pack where all the stickers are unique and interesting and can also stand alone. So what I find really helps with that is looking up a lot of photos and videos of the particular subjects that I'm working with. So that way I can get an idea for like a lot of different poses and how those poses might interact with each other. So I like to imagine my sticker packs are kind of being used like paper dolls where they're going to be interacting with each other. And I try to create a variety of poses that can tell different stories when they're put together in different ways. And of course something else that really helps with this is going to see the subject in person. Last summer we went to the aquarium and we saw some seals and I was so super excited about seeing the seals. I took hundreds of photos and it really sparked a lot of inspiration. And I've been making seal stuff nonstop since then. But also my most common subjects are my kitty cats. And I also paint my lizard quite a lot because he's very cool and very interesting. So seeing him in person and seeing how he moves around is just really inspiring, more so than seeing like a photo or even like a video of an animal moving around. Seeing it in person is just a lot different. And of course when I'm designing my stickers, I'm also looking for shapes that are really fun to draw. So the shapes that I mostly use are bean shapes, which I usually use for bodies, and then kind of like flattened spheres. I like to imagine that the animals are like little slime monsters, and then I just add limbs to those. And of course that also overlaps with the bean shape. And the last principle that I try to keep in mind when working on my sticker packs is that it's okay to be silly or frivolous or just have fun. I find that I have a very rigid personality, and I tend to be very serious about what I'm creating. So I try to really exaggerate things and loosen up and be silly. And I find that the subjects turn out much better that way. That's about everything I do for finding inspiration, but I'm interested in hearing what you guys do. Do you guys have any techniques for finding inspiration if you're not feeling super creative? Coming back to the sticker, I release these stickers through Patreon and Ko-fi early, so if you guys want to get one of these stickers early, you can sign up over there. And otherwise, I'll have the entire sticker pack available on Etsy when it's all done. This is Hippo design number 2, and I usually make 5 or 6 different designs per sticker pack. I'll hopefully upload at least one more design here on YouTube so you guys can watch through that. And if you're interested in seeing what the sticker pack looks like all finished, be sure to check out my Patreon or Ko-fi pages or my website. Link for all those are down in the description. I've also started posting classes and tutorials over on Patreon and Ko-fi, as well as classes on Skillshare. So if there's anything you guys are interested in learning about, please let me know, and chances are I'm going to create that for you. Oh, please be sure to like, subscribe, and all that other good stuff, and I'll see you guys later.